So, in creating an online business or an offline business that you absolutely love, I really want you to start thinking about the people that you absolutely love to work with and doing work that you love and having experiences that you love and feeling really full and happy and healthy when you're in your work life and earning as much as you want and having the impact that you dream of. And so, if you're at the beginning of your journey and you're like, well, I haven't had any clients, so how do I do this? I want you to think about colleagues or bosses, jobs, places that you've worked, and what was it about that team that you worked on or that team that you had? What was it about those people? You're going to gain so much insight when you start to drill down into what works for you. When are you at your most lit up? When are you at your most magnetic, your most energetic, your most lit, your most happy? Because that's when you're going to have the greatest impact. And that impact is going to convert to income. And so it's going to also impact the clients and the customers that come into your business because you're at your best. So in this world of online entrepreneurship and marketing ourselves and thinking about, what do I want to do and thinking, I don't want to limit myself. I want to be, I want to help everyone. And I'm sure you've heard this before. When you try to help everyone, a lot of times you end up helping no one. And so if you can start to really drill down, this is my definition of freedom life. You may have a completely different definition, but I will tell you that in the couple of years now of doing this, almost now going on 3 years, being in a lot of different high end high level masterminds, working with high level coaches, and really looking at what are the ingredients that have mattered in really moving the needle in gaining clarity, confidence, competence in what it is that you're doing. And largely, it has to do with really knowing when you're at your best and who you like to work with the most, what makes you feel really happy and full and healthy, and really identifying how much money do you want to earn. We're going to get into that a little bit deeper in a little bit. And what is the impact that you really want to have in your life for you and your family and elsewhere in other people's lives, in your community, in the world. So I really want you to drill into this in minute detail. I think you're going to start to uncover things that may even surprise you. So this blank template is for you to fill out and for you to really go through those phases and work work it, journal it. You might need to have a pad and a pen and to go really deep. But one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is to not overthink, right? So I'm telling you to go think and not overthink, or not go, not overthink it, right? Go deep, but don't overthink it. So that almost sounds like it's a contrast. But what I mean by that is when something is coming up for you, don't edit it. Let it just come. Let it come. Let it free flow out of you. It may surprise you what comes up. Let it come out, right? So I really take a little bit of time and think about either the clients that you've had that you felt the best with, the most lit up with, the ones that got the best results. What was it about them? What was it about you with them? What was it about them with you? What was it about the combination? You're going to find consistencies in these people. You're going to find consistencies within yourself. I really want you to give this a lot of thought. How long were the sessions? What was that environment like? Where were you? What were you working on? What was the content? What was the output? What was the end result? I want you to really, really think about this. Who are these people and who are you when you're with these people? This is freaking gold. So the next thing that I want you to look at is that there's a lot of different ways to generate income. And if you're in your job, in your corporate job and this is a side hustle now, or you're here in your coaching business and you don't necessarily want to rely your whole income on coaching clients. You want to have a variety of different ways that you earn money. So in my life, for example, I have a back end of automated courses and masterminds and things that people can buy without interacting with me on a one-on-one basis. So they can click a link, they can read about it, they can follow me on social media, they can check me out on Google, they can do all the things that they need to do or want to do to get comfortable about making a purchase or simply just make a purchase. And I've put a dollar amount down as to either where I wanna grow it to or where things are at. I have an Airbnb business. It's a very lucrative business. Sometimes it's more than 10K, sometimes it's less than 10K, so I put 10K. I have a deep desire to be a speaker and a guest at high-end resorts. And the reason that I want to be at the high-end resorts is that my super clients, which I'm gonna get into in a second, are there. And so it's something that I deeply, truly, immensely love. I love going to spas. I've been going to spas since, or massage and spas since the early 90s, 91. So it's something that I love. And it's in alignment with who I am, how I am, what I do, who I be, where I love to be. And also, that's where my super clients are because people that go to high end spas are elevated. They are high end. They do make decisions to take really good care of themselves. So to be a speaker at a place that has the same location and the same destination as where my clients are, what a great place for me to spend some of my really, really valuable time. Okay. So I put a price tag on that. So in person retreats at my Airbnb, which I would block off the calendar, and I would have in person retreats, which is starting fall of 2022, and being a guest at high end spas. So put a dollar amount around that. Could be less, could be significantly more, just putting a dollar amount around that. Super clients. So, super clients are what happens as a result of you getting super, super focused in your business. Super focused content, super focused offers, super clients. You become a super seller and you have a super incredible business. And it really makes life so much easier. So, my monthly retainer now for consulting is 5K. So, for me, two clients a month for that kind of contract is that's it. That's all that that's my max. These are very different kinds of clients. These are very different kinds of projects or um, just level that the that we're at in the coaching container. And what we're working on is much more detailed. And so a super client contract is limited for in my business, but I want you to think about that for you. It could be your one-to-one coaching, it could be your high-end mastermind, it could be something totally different for you that um, denotes that somebody is a super client. It doesn't mean that you don't think all your clients are super. I love all of my clients, right? I love people that are in my audience that are just, great contributors to the conversation. It doesn't mean that you like them better than somebody else. It's a delineation of for you to know if you want to call in these clients, your content really needs to be something different. That's all that is. Then coaching, right? So I might do a program specifically around becoming a super seller. I might do a program specifically around um, mother-daughter relationships with my daughter. I might do a program around um, LinkedIn, right? And how to leverage yourself and your brand on LinkedIn. So some special coaching offers that generate really great monthly incomes. And then the Supreme Sellers Scrub business, which is a business that I'm also in a partner in. And then I don't have on here investments because I didn't want to share that part of my personal life, my personal financial life. But that's another avenue. So I want you to think about all the different ways that you can and want to generate income. It could be selling ebooks on Amazon and having them on repeat. It could be low ticket offers that you make one a month and you enroll people in and you grow your email list. It could be that. It could be joint ventures where you work with um, other colleagues, other entrepreneurs that aren't in your niche. So it could be, say, somebody that has a so for me, it could be somebody who has a intimacy business, and there are entrepreneurs in there, and they may want to be growing their business, but they're really focused on a different conversation. So we can switch, and I could offer to do a joint venture, JV, a joint venture with that entrepreneur, and bring my LinkedIn course to her audience and split the proceeds with her. I've now picked up an entire audience that I would not have had. She really doesn't have to do a thing other than introduce me to her audience, and she makes half of whatever we bring in. So it's such a great way to grow your business. It doesn't all have to come from you. It doesn't all have to come from you. You might have podcast on here. You might have monetize a blog on here. There are different ways, but the value of this is for you to focus your thinking on how am I going to earn this money. For you, you might say, I'm a one-on-one coach. I want to make 10K. That's it. And there's nothing else. That's the one thing that I want to do. I'm putting all my energy into that, and I'm 2,000 a month. I'm looking for 5 clients, and it's that specific and focused and clear. A lot of times when I work with somebody, they have a number. I want to hit 50K. Great. How do you want to do that? And the answer usually is I haven't really thought about it. And when you haven't really thought about it, that equals it's not going to happen. So when you get really clear about how is it going to happen, and then we start going around. So I'm going to give you an example on mine, right? So I go start going around and go, oh, how am I going to get into those high-end spas? I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, why would they pick me? There's so many people to pick. Oh God, I went on their website. It's so amazing. I read about the people that are their guests. Oh my God, they're so much bigger than me. Oh, I looked them up, and all of a sudden there is the resistance. There is the issue. There is the exact place for me to grow. So I could say all day long that I want this, but if I don't face what's going to get in the way of this happening, what's the obstacle? What's the opportunity? What's my next best step? What is the game plan? Because this is all fine and well, but if there is no game plan, this does not happen. And this is the magic of creating not all of it at once, but really realizing that this is a life journey. And so each one of these has a mission attached to it. Each one of these has a strategy attached to it. Each one of these has an execution plan attached to it, right? So my Airbnb business, it runs on autopilot. The Scrubs business, it just launched, right? My automated courses and mastermind behind the scenes, it's all in the process now of being built out. So some of it sells much slower. We're not close to the 15K, right? The in-person retreats, I'm having my first one September and then again in October. So I've already made headway on that. And the high-end spas, we just started to do outreach. So I've made huge strides. Why? Because I had a plan. And then I had the idea that first it was an idea and a heart's desire. And then that heart's desire turned into what are the next best steps? What would it look like? What does it take? Oh, that scares me. Okay. Well, why? What's coming up for me? breaking it down, going beneath and breaking beyond the beliefs that I have and what you have that hold you back, and really working through them, because all this is fine and well, you guys, but if you don't actually know what's really holding you back, not in the subconscious, I'm talking about in the actual waking mind, that is just one or two levels beneath your thinking in this moment, right? And that's the power of working with someone who can really break you through it in a matter of a couple of minutes in a session where you're like, oh my God, thank you. I didn't even realize that. Sometimes the thing that is right smack in front of you or off a little bit in your peripheral vision, you don't even see. So, yes, the subconscious mind is incredible, but the focused mind is so powerful. So, I want you to really work on your wheel and really look at the different ways. Maybe one of your spokes is your income that you have from your job. Maybe one of your spokes is you have income because income comes into your family through your spouse or your partner. Maybe one of your spokes is, and I just want you to go through it, right? Whatever that is, the different ways that you want to earn money. Okay? All right. So this takes us to what this whole magnetic marketing is really all about. And truly, when your content is on point, you're going to reach your ideal client, this super client or this group of super clients. And this is where conversion, it's the 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 golden nugget or the golden rocket ship to taking your content and converting it from client and then to cash. And that's really, when we talk about going from content to cash, what's not in there, but what is so important, and I know that if you're here and you're listening to this, you are a heart-based entrepreneur. You want so much for yourself and other people. And of course, that means that when you're booking clients, that means that your opportunity to actually have impact is happening. It's not just a hope or a wish, it's actually happening. And that's everything. So creating content only for your super client or super clients get you that much closer, speaking only to what they want the most. So that takes you out of the limelight of your content. Now, you may story tell, and that's fine, but if the story isn't for or about them, even though it's a reflection of you or about you, then you're going to miss your super client. Align to how and what they think, feel, and desire. So when you live the life of your client, right? So, having been in corporate, sitting at my job, dreaming of the time that this would be my life, I really know in a textured feeling and an emotional feeling and a gut feeling in my skin and my DNA, I know what it feels like to want to be here when you're there. I know what it feels like to start and scale your business. I know what it feels like to make offers and have crickets. I know what it feels like to think that something was like such a great post and like nothing happens. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. So sometimes, when somebody says like, did you know that that was going to be a viral post? And the truth is, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I just, as it's coming out, it feels so rich in the truth that I just know it's going to resonate. I just know it. And it happens so much more often than ever dreamed. But the more that I'm in the truth of the experience of what I truly believe is happening in the lives of my super clients, the more that the super clients come forward. And It makes things so much easier. It really does. Knowing their brands, foods, holidays, vacations, things that they value, things that they want, things that are important. When I'm on calls with high-powered women, women that care so much, they say the same thing. They want to provide incredible things for their family. They want time for themselves. They want freedom. They want flexibility. They want to be able to gift things to their kids and their grandkids. They want to provide. They want this incredible opportunity for such generosity, and it's consistent, right? It's not like one woman has said that. It's like a lot of women have said that. And it speaks so much to the heart and the soul of this super client. So knowing who they are and what they've gone through. Again, I'm going to give you another example in my life, right? My I worked for 30 years in the fashion industry. That meant that I traveled at least 10 times a year. That meant that I was away 10 at least 10 weeks a year. That meant I said goodbye to my daughter and I got on a plane and talked to her and, long distance. So a lot of people do that. And yes, I made a lot of money, but I missed so much. And I know that there are women like me that understand what it feels like to feel like you have missed your children's life and that you compromised and that you were climbing the ladder and maybe you got a little intoxicated with climbing the ladder. Maybe you're an entrepreneur that's gotten a little intoxicated with climbing the ceiling of the ceiling, that there is no ceiling and there's more and more and it's never, more and more and more. And so you're missing the look in their eyes, you're missing the tone in their voice, you're missing the now. And so I know what that's like. So when you can really reach into somebody else's experience, you're connecting. Your content is going to connect. Breathe, eat, sleep, and think like them, speak like them. The way that you do this is that you're tracking with them in so many different ways, in so many different places, and you're closer and closer and closer to them that you see what they say, you read what they say, you hear what they say. And so it's very easy for you to write in a way or speak in a way that is very connecting. So when people start to say things like, my God, it's like you're in my head. My God, it's like you know me so well, or I feel like I know you so well, and you've never met the person before, but they've been following you for a period of time, unbeknownst to you, usually. And it's because you resonate with them so much. That's magnetic marketing at its finest. Study them. Don't speak above them like a lecture. Don't speak down to them like you're punishing or scolding them. Talk with them and talk like them. So I really want you to kind of go through this for yourself, kind of go through each one of these. If I back up for a second, you go through each one of these. If you were to create content for your super client, who would that be? Speak only to what they want. What do they want? What do they want? How do they think? How do they feel? What do they desire? Really, not what you think when we say things like they're stressed out, burnt out, da da da, ba da da. Like, okay, that's fine. How do you know that? Why are they that way? Because they work too long, because they bring their work home, because they work when their kids are sick, because they take their work on vacation, because their kids see them stressed out. Get into the nitty fucking gritty of the details, because when you say blanket things like burnt out and overworking, and anybody can say that, but when you start to describe to them the life that they're living, you're hitting the nail on the head. You're hitting it, you're hitting it, you're hitting it. And I'm not saying that you need to push on somebody's pain, but what I'm saying is that you become relatable, and relatable becomes hireable. So I really want you to go into, how well do you know your client? How well do you know them? I have 2 different kinds of clients. I have a client that is very established in business and wants to take their business to another level. So they may be a manufacturer, they may be have a small company or a mid-sized company, and there's some initiative that they want to create or execute, and they bring me in for that. And so it's a very, very dynamic, very super client um, project. The other super client is a female entrepreneur, and she is so all in. She's completely committed. And, if pathway A doesn't work, no problem, I'll turn left. If turning left doesn't work, okay, that's fine, I'll turn around. She is in it. And that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of spirit, that's the kind of devotion that's in alignment with who I am and how I teach and what I look like. And that doesn't mean, listen, I don't work all day long every single day. I'm like a couple of hours a day, and then I have other things that I work on. I have other businesses that I attend to, have other responsibilities and other things that I love to do. So I'm not doing this all day long. So I don't expect or even want anybody to do this all day long. This isn't about how long you work. It's about the intention in which you do your work. And a super client does their work with true intention. And that's when you become a match for what it is that you want. So I really want you to break this down, okay? So on this last page, I want you to really think about who is your super client. If you were to really think about, like, okay, if I'm going to have different levels of clients, right? Somebody's going to come in, like, to my business, they may buy a course or a program. They may buy something at 197 or $97 or $297 and take a training. And I love that because it's a really great way to see, how does Elise teach and how do I connect to her teaching style and what did I get out of it? And, you know, a lot of times it's like, I'll hear from somebody, and you may really relate to this. Like, people will reach back out and say, God, I had this major breakthrough, and it could be weeks after a course, it could be months after a course. It's the kind of deeply rooted, deeply seated work that really shapes and shifts people's um, lives. It just does. And so I love that kind of work in a part of the gateway to building an entrepreneur in a life that your business, working with entrepreneurs, building a business that you love, and having a life that really feels good. And so sometimes it starts with a $197 course, and then it goes to another, might be a short 4-week mastermind in becoming super focused. And it might be a short, maybe a 3-month coaching one-on-one. It might be coming into a mastermind. So when you have products that a client can journey with you, they have an opportunity to grow themselves, to grow with you, within themselves, with you. And that's really powerful. So don't get in your head or anything if you don't have these kinds of products, or if you're like, well, I'm a private coach, I don't really have that. It's okay. A lot of times, your courses, your classes, your offerings, your trainings, they come out of private coaching. Private coaching is a great way to start, especially when you're a high ticket coach. And, the more that somebody values the work that they are doing for themselves and the work that they are paying for, the classes and courses and programs that they're paying for, the more committed, the deeper and the more committed that they are. But I will tell you something. I just wrote a post about this. All in doesn't mean that you paid. All in doesn't mean that you paid in full. And all in doesn't mean that you or a super client or people have, that is their level of commitment, right? We know that. There are plenty of people that pay for things and they don't show up for them. And so when you start attracting the kind of clients that are all in and are lit up and you do great work with, a lot of your course content is going to come from this type of magnetic marketing where you're going to get so clear about the 3 or 4 pillars of your work that becomes the body, the real true body of work that you're going to bring to the world, your life's work. And you're going to find that, yes, you can do 100 different trainings. Yes, you could do 100 different Facebook Lives or Reels or this or that. Yes, you can. But at the end of the day, you really don't need to. And there's a way to structure your business in such a way that you have such incredibly potent posts and content that it's timeless. I could look at a post from 2019 and it's just as good today as it was then. It's just as good now as it was then. Yeah, I said that right. I had to think about that for a second. And so, but it's honest to goodness, it's actually gotten so much better now as I've been in the game. But even then, I was so focused on who I was serving. What's changed for me is that who I'm serving has split into a Y. So if you imagine the letter Y, on the right-hand side of the Y is the super client that has a business, has a company, and the on the left-hand side of the Y, I have the solopreneur that is building out their business and is super committed and has already had a lot of success in other things that they've done. They're already starting at a higher level. And you may have a W, you may have 3 points, right? You may have 3 points. And your 3 points may be that you have, people that are brand new starting out in something. If you're a weight loss coach, right? Like people that want to lose a ton of weight and people that want to lose like baby weight and then people that want to maintain. And so you have a W. So not everybody is a Y, right? I happen to be a Y. You might be an I. And the I is you do private coaching. It's you have this one thing. So sometimes these little analogies of like thinking of things as like, I'm a Y. I've got 2 different things that I offer, and you imagine that. Some people are a W. They've got 3 stages of people that they serve. Some people they have one. So I just want you to think of the way to organize your mind and your thinking, because the more that you focus, the more that you bring it in, the more that you chisel down, the faster you're going to grow. The fastest way to grow your business is to niche down to gain momentum. And there are so many people, more people than you can ever possibly help. Um, for all of us, literally for all of us, that this idea that, well, if I niche down, I'm going to miss people. No, there are so many people to help. And if you can have a full practice helping people and being really clear and focused on who those people are. So I want to wish you your freedom life, whatever that looks like for you. It may look totally different from me. And that's the beauty of it. We get to have it our way. And I hope that this was helpful. I would love to see yours or hear about yours and chat with you if you want to have a chat with me about how to take things to the next level, how to build this business out, how to grow yourself into a that next level, whether it's joining the mastermind, whether it's working together for a couple of months in a more, kind of closer proximity and working really closely together, reach out. It's just great to sometimes just brainstorm and just see. I don't know, if we're a fit for each other. And so that is the first thing, is just energetically, hi, how are you? Who are you? What's your dream? What do you want to do? All of that stuff. So when I meet with people, and this might be something that you want to do as well, is I don't sell anything on the first time. I just want to get to know you. Now, if it goes famously well, and at the end of it, the client wants to ask me, how do we work together? I know I want to work with you. That's for the client to do, but I don't pitch anything when I first meet with somebody. And it's done on purpose because I have enrolled misaligned clients being in the moment, and it's more important for me to work with people that I love, do what I love, have experiences that I love, feel really full and happy and healthy, earn as much as I want, and have the impact that I've dreamt of. And that to me is my freedom life. And if I say yes to every person that's ever wanted to coach with me, I would not have that because I would be out of alignment. I would say yes to people that actually are not the best fit for me and for them. And so I hope that this was helpful, and I would love to see you on a call if that's the next best great step for you. Any which way, I'm so happy that you are here, and I hope to keep in touch. And I wish you an absolutely fantastic experience in your business. Thank you so much.